Welcome, welcome. We are live today.
Good morning, everyone. And depending on where you are in the world, we welcome you to another opportunity to be with us for this live webinar. It's a joint project today with Forgiving for Living, the BBA, which is the Black Business Association, and Black Girls Code. And of course, we could not do this without our sponsors. And we have a special treat because our main sponsor, which is the Orange County Community Foundation, their president, Tammy Tumbling, is going to join us in just a moment. But I'd like to first share just a little bit about Forgiving for Living. Forgiving for Living was started close to 26 years ago with the sole purpose of just uplifting the souls of people, especially our young women, and making sure that they know that anything is possible. And we do that by providing mentorship, teaching life skills, and college preparedness. And we're also very happy to have us join us today, the chairman of Forgiving for Living, who actually wears many hats. She is very, very busy. She is also the president of the Black Business Association. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Sarah Harris. And Sarah Harris is the publisher. As I already said, she's the president of the Black Business Association, but she's also the publisher in chief of Sweet Life SoCal magazine and president and CEO of the BBA, the oldest active ethnic business support organization in the state of California. She is also a commissioner under the Los Angeles County Small Business Commission, and she is a MDE graduate of the UCLA Anderson School of Management. Ms. Harris has had the privilege of working with over 100 organizations. I mean, like, she's not even old enough to have done that, but of course she has. And she's worked with elected officials, government agencies, and small businesses, of which in part include the Office of Councilman Curran D. Price, the City of Inglewood, the USC Marshall School of Business, Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science, the YWCA of Greater Los Angeles, and of course, the BBA and Forgiving for Living, among many, many others. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Wendy. I did not expect all of that in the intro, but thank you so much. It is always a pleasure. As you heard part of that, I have the honor of serving as chair for Forgiving for Living. And in that regard, too, it is an honor that the Black Business Association, we have been partnering on a number of different activities because, of course, for the BBA, we want to make sure that we are uplifting our youth and young people. And in this convening today, it is imperative that we address the emerging industries and markets for opportunities for young people. And so when we bring you about beating the odds, building a future without limits, we mean, arming ourselves with everything possible that we have every tool to be able to succeed, and especially for our young women and girls. And so just so happy to have Black Girls Code joining us today. It is such a thrill, and we can't wait to see and hear what they have to enlighten us with today. So with that, Wendy, I will give it back to you, and looking forward to our dynamic discussion today and all of the things that people will be able to take away.
Wow, thank you so much, Sarah. We totally appreciate you and your time and your leadership, because it is you that brought actually Forgiving for Living and Black Girls Code together so that we can support one another and to just sow into the lives of these young ladies. And so when we came up with together as a group, beating the odds, building a future without limits, there could not be a better title, because especially today, we need to make sure that our young girls know that they have a place, and not only at the table, but that they can build their own table as well. So thank you so much. And with that, I would love to bring on our special guest who's going to bring us greetings, and she's going to bring us a wonderful welcome. And her name is Tammy Tumbling. Tammy is the president at Orange County Community Foundation. With over 25 years of cross-sector experience in public, private, and nonprofit industries, Ms. Tumbling specializes in driving large-scale initiatives, fostering stakeholder alignment, and delivering high-impact results. And I know that for a fact. I am a personal witness. Her leadership is rooted in a strong strategic vision and a deep understanding of operational effectiveness, ensuring organizations have the systems, the culture, and the policies needed for sustainable and long-term growth. She has a proven track record of turning around underperforming businesses, as well as building and leading high performing teams and implementing transformative strategies that drive measurable outcomes. Her expertise extends to developing and extending and executing integrated social media strategies that enhance brand visibility and engagement. Known for thriving in fast-paced environments. And I have to tell you, keeping up with her is not easy. Her schedule, oh my goodness, because they say if you want to get something done, look for the person who's busy. And she brings a collaborative, results-oriented approach that consistently delivers value and empowers organizations to exceed their goals. Tammy, thank you for joining us today. I can't wait to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Wendy, to both you and Sarah and Black Girls Code. This has been so exciting just to hear see that you all are launching this today. Again, I'm Tammy Tumbling, president of the Orange County Community Foundation. Welcome, everyone. This is really important what you're doing today because you're making a big step toward your future. And that's by getting information from some amazing, incredibly amazing speakers. But also I'm glad that I have an opportunity to deliver a message as well. I'm not just the president of the Orange County Community Foundation. I was also a teen mom, a young girl growing up in the city of Compton, orphaned by the age of 19, having to care for all of my brothers and sisters who were younger than me, all by the age of 19. There was no opportunity for me to get a high school education or to get a college education. But because of perseverance and wonderful organizations like Giving for Living and Black Girl Code, we are able to actually move forward in a way that we would not be able to without having the community behind us. So I believe in being behind our community. I believe in looking at everything that's going on around me to figure out where can I help? Where can I participate? And because of organizations at the grassroots level like these, we're able to succeed. A young teenage girl with a baby and brothers and sisters to care for was able to get a high school diploma. I graduated from La Habra High School in Orange County, and then further my education by going to Cal State Dominguez Hills, where I was able to achieve a bachelor's degree in computer information systems. So yes, I'm a STEM kid. I'm a little geeky and I love it. And a master's degree in public administration, in spite of it all. But what it really comes down to is knowing who you really are and defining who you are, and don't let the world define that for you. Stay strong and focused and committed to whatever your goals are. And especially in these days, this time, the times are not what they should be for us, not really. But we are still focused and committed and moving forward to be great. So with that, I want to turn it back over to Wendy and say congratulations to all of you who are taking a step today to listen into this webinar, because with commitment and perseverance, you too can be anything that you want to be. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you for sharing from your heart today with us. And thank you for just letting us know that, you didn't just get here by accident and it didn't just happen overnight either. So that gives all of us hope that what we set out to do, we can achieve. So thank you again for your time. And thank you for the commitment of the Orange County Community Foundation with us.
Absolutely. Have fun today, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And moving on, again, of course, our webinar today is dealing with beating the odds. And the organization that we're highlighting and we're so excited about partnering with today, of course, is Black Girls Code. I'd like to share just a little bit about their leadership that will be with us today. And then we're going to turn it over to some questions that they're going to be able to share with us some wonderful insights on. And then I'm going to turn it over to them to be able to share from their perspective what they would like to leave us with today. So first of all, we have Selena Suarez. She's SVO of Programs and Partnerships for Black Girls Code. She is a global leader in the community, workforce development, and ecosystem strategy. She currently serves as the Senior Vice President of Programs and Partnerships at Black Girls Code, where she leads transformative initiatives that expand access to technology, education, and career paths for the next generation. Now, not just the next generation, but the next generation of innovators. In this role, she forges strategic collaborations with industry leaders, educational institutions, and community partners like Forgiving for Living and like the Black Business Association, where Black Girls Code and its Beyond Code Collective equip learners with the tools, networks, and opportunities to thrive in the evolving tech economy. Next, I'd like to just share a little bit about Angel Aviles. She's the community strategist for Black Girls Code. Angel supports workforce development programs. She heads up the community strategy and she leads corporate workshops. And in the information I read about it, she said at 50, she became an influencer in the beauty and wellness space. And when you see her, you're going to understand exactly what I mean by that, because she's absolutely beautiful. And she has committed herself to making a big difference with Black Girls Code here in Southern California. And then we also have Kobe Lemoyne. She's the program manager for K through 12 programs for Black Girls Code. Kobe leads the execution of Black Girls Code K through 12 programs, overseeing the development, implementation, evaluation, research, and continuous improvement of Black Girl Code's program model. She supports the development and implementation of program initiatives, community outreach, communications, and administrative operations in a fast-paced, high-performance environment. Kobe effectively operates across all departments of a startup nonprofit and plays a critical role in setting the direction of both current and future Black Girls Code programs. So we have heavy hitters with us today representing Black Girls Code. And I would love to see Angel. Hi, Angel. And there's Selena. Hi, Selena. And we have Kobe. Welcome so much to the webinar today, to the show. We're so glad to have you. And before we get into any of the questions, I would love to start with Selena. Selena, would you like to share with us just, any opening comments about Black Girls Code, how you got involved, and what you would like the audience to know and to remember from today's program?
Sorry about that. I was on mute.
No problem.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Selena Suarez. I'm a Senior Vice President of Programs at Black Girls Code. So I design tech programs for women and girls who are interested in breaking into the tech industry. I started my career about 20 years ago working in big tech, but I have a very similar story to Tammy. I'm the oldest of 12 children. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York City. And I was a caretaker to my siblings as well. I also, I left high school in the 11th grade and I had a baby and ended up going on to college and eventually earning both my bachelor's and my master's degree before I decided to embark on a career in tech. And so today what I do is I give back to other individuals and I look for all the other Selenas that are trying to persevere and beat the odds and find opportunities to elevate themselves. And I connect them into my network. I connect them into the things that they need to survive and succeed. And that is what my life work has been about over the last 2 decades. At Black Girls Code, we are working very closely in the Southern California area to bring programming to young girls and their families. And we are really excited about the work that we're doing because we're expanding to 18 and over. And on our 18 and over programming, we're going to be creating opportunities for folks to take training programs on tech stacks like Salesforce and AWS and other technologies to aspiring technologists who are interested in breaking into the tech industry. So thank you all for having me, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. We're so glad you could join us. And I was just looking so forward to having you on the program today. So thank you, Selena. Angel,
Thank
can we
you.
hear from you?
Absolutely. Thank you again for that wonderful introduction. I loved hearing your introduction for everyone. I'm always so impressed by the people that I get to stand up along in this work. I have been passionate about community work, I think my entire life. I'm a 60s baby. So, yes, I did become a beauty influencer, and I want to comment on that because I am 50, and this is another barrier to a barrier people present mostly in their mind in going into tech. It is never too late. I want to say that first and foremost. It doesn't matter how old we are. It doesn't matter where we come from. It doesn't matter where we've been. We are all extremely capable. That being said, I started my first tech job. I had my first tech job in tech in 1999. And when you came into corporate America in the 90s, it was very different than it is now. And I will say that navigating those times provided a whole different work ethic, a whole different mindset, and also a deep understanding of what's needed and how women, primarily women of color, are treated in the tech industry. So I think it was about a decade ago that I found Selena on Twitter, because I was like, there's something that needs to be done. There's something that we as a community, those of us who have achieved certain levels of success in our life, whether it's in tech or in corporate or wherever you are at any level of success that you find yourself at, there comes this yearning to reach back, to reach across, and to make sure that you are a part of a chain of people making things happen for the next generation of innovators. And so I'm extremely proud to stand in this space with the women that I get to work with on a regular basis, but also generally in the women that you're introducing as well. And that if we in any way can possibly encourage anyone on this call to involve themselves in technology, whether you've been told in school that you weren't smart or that you weren't STEM ready or that STEM wasn't for you, which is a message that has been communicated many times, we want to hopefully put it in your mind that that was nonsense and that you are absolutely perfectly capable, able to enter this or any other career choice that you desire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I could not have said it any better. And just know I'm also a baby of the 60s, but I'm in my 60s versus in my 50s, but I'm a baby of the civil rights movement during, actually born in 1961. So, I totally understand what you're talking about and where you're coming from. Kobe, we would love to hear from you. Would you like to give us, some opening comments, your thoughts, and then we'll go into some of the questions.
Yes, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for inviting us into this space. I'm really excited to dive into the discussion we have just in a few minutes. I'm Kobe Lemoyne. I'm one of the program managers here at Black Girls Code. I'm situated in the LA area. I've always been in the space of community, also wanting to just make sure that our students continue to have a safe space. And I think that my work has always been revolving around getting people the resources that they need, motivating them and inspiring them to continue to learn and to stay curious in life. And being at Black Girls Code further amplifies those types of skills that I have. And I'm just so happy and grateful to be in this space. So really looking forward to diving into the discussion today, and you'll hear some of those things come up. But again, just thank you for this time and space.
You're so welcome. And we're so glad to have you. So thank you. And I think that as I listen to each of us, including Tammy and Sarah, who are off camera now, the thread that ties us all together is our love for community. It seems that each and every one of us have a desire to help and to uplift and to keep rising. As they say, when we each one reach one and then reach back and make sure we lift as we climb. So I love hearing that that's a central theme for all of us today. So I'm going to start out with our first question, and either one of you can feel free to let me know who wants to, answer that particular question. So we know, well, I tell you what, before I go into that question, Selena, why don't you answer for us a little bit more about the history of where Black Girls Code started? Because my first question is really all about what motivated you to want to branch out into Southern California, because we know that you have branches and in different parts of the country. So tell us a little bit about the history of how Black Girls Code started and where.
So Black Girls Code is going to have our 15-year anniversary next year. So we're really excited about that. The organization was started by the original founder up in Oakland, California. As the organization grew and became national, especially after COVID, we started to expand in different cities where communities were rallying to bring our programs into their cities. And so today we have programs running out of LA, Chicago, Detroit, in Texas, Florida, Atlanta, New York City, and also in Puerto Rico. So we're really happy about that and proud of the work that we're able to do nationally.
Okay, perfect. So, Kobe, I'll ask you this question. And thank you, Selena, for giving us that background. I read about that, but I wanted the audience to hear it from you because I think it's such an exciting journey that you've been on as it relates to how your organization has kind of branched around the country and now even into Puerto Rico. So, Kobe, tell me your feelings. What do you feel is the motivation of why it's important now to also be very active in Southern California?
I would say that it's important because the political climate that we're in,
Yes.
it's so important to keep our students motivated and provide them with as many resources as possible to continue that type of learning. I also think that Black Girls Code is so unique and special by the way that we cultivate those spaces for our students. I've had students at the end of each workshop come up to me and say, like, this was amazing. Sometimes I'm the only girl, the only Black girl in my class. And now I'm able to return and have friends and have community, and I can be my true self. And I think that is so amazing with what we've been able to do in the Los Angeles area and with Black Girls Code. And I just want to continue to provide them that space to let them know that, like, hey, you can still be curious because they're so aware of what's happening to them. And I think if given the chance, they have solutions to these issues that they're seeing. And I want to make sure that we're still creating that space for them to present those ideas, to further enhance and hone in on those types of technical skills, and also provide them the different resources of, like, if you're on more of the creative side, like, here is a career pathway that could potentially be of interest to you. Here are mentors, here are volunteers, here are instructors, here are the adults in the room that are going to make that possible for you. And I think that's very inspiring for the kids to see that there is a lot of investment in their community. So we do need a lot of other grassroots organizations. We need other Black Girl Code organizations to help motivate our students in such a crucial time like this.
Excellent. And I think that is a good way to segue into our next question. And Angel, I'll ask you is, given with various issues that we are all facing today and with the climate situation, what are some of the challenges that not just even Black Girls Code, but that you just feel like in general that we're facing, but how we can encourage one another and those that we're serving?
That's a really excellent question. And I also want to just piggyback slightly on Kobe's question as well. I've been in LA for a very long time, and I love this city so very much. And one of the things that I'm proudest of about LA is our political representation, holding strong, standing as a model of resistance. We are economically strong still. We see lots and lots of resources poured into our city, into our sub-cities. Inglewood, for instance, is a city that has had tons of money poured into it. And when we look at community and how we can add to community, we're looking at how we can take that money, how we're going to help the members of the actual community benefit from those resources. I love having Mayor Karen Bass. I love having Holly Mitchell. I love having these absolute icons of policy and legislation standing in these places, making a difference, not just for our small area, but really leading the entire country on a movement of making sure that at some point the playing field is maintained. In terms of challenges, all of those things are challenges. We look at gentrification, we look at all of the things that seem very obviously politics is one thing, but in every way, we're constantly challenged. Some of those challenges maybe look different or carry different labels, but they're so similar. It's a similar playing game. Like we're it's just history repeating itself with different names.
Yeah.
And so the challenges that were still are. We're still grossly underrepresented in areas like STEM. We're still told on so many levels our educational system, God bless them, is so
Challenge.
underserving us in terms of real life history and
Mhm.
also in terms of a lot of the skill sets that we need to have and acquire to move forward, especially in STEM.
Mhm. I mean, so true. There's so many challenges that if we don't step up and stand up for our girls, our community, our history, they will try to lose it. They will try to dissolve it, is what I'll say. I would like to now move back to Selena. And Selena, I loved hearing what you were sharing about your road, your journey. And so a question I would also ask you is, who were some of your role models, or who mentored you, or who helped you to become the woman that you are today?
So initially, a lot of the influences that were around me were at school. So I was very fortunate to, even though I grew up in Brooklyn and I moved around quite a bit, that I had really good grades in school. I spent, a lot of effort into making sure I got good grades and did well. So my very first influences were from my teachers who were encouraging me to um, pursue school and stay in school. And so even though I left high school when I was in the 11th grade, I ended up going back to school and really prioritizing my education. It was the one thing that I knew that I could control, right? I could choose to educate myself, and I could choose to go to school, and I could choose to create a new life for myself. And I did. So that's what my journey looked like. As I got older, I met other people like Angel, who became a mentor for me and really was a sponsor in my life. She worked with me, coaching me through the earlier parts of my career as I transitioned into an executive, and that really helped as well. So finding those other people that can assist you and support you in your journey is going to be really important.
Yes.
And a part of that is being honest and open and being, willing to be vulnerable and tell people your story so that they can lend in and assist and not feel embarrassed. When I was younger, I thought a lot of the things that I had been through would be a disadvantage for me, but
Mhm.
it turns out it's the opposite. A lot of the things that I learned growing up in the communities I came in around loyalty and family and educating oneself really served me well when I went into business. And so those role models played a really important part of my journey.
And it's interesting how much many of us have had teachers as role models. I mean, we underplay sometimes teachers, but they're critical and they're crucial. Okay, we're going to move on to our next question, and I'm going to go back to you, Angel. What are practical steps that helped you move forward? And the reason why I wanted to go back to you also is because, hearing Selena share that you were part of her motivation as terms of being a mentor and a guide. So my question to you is, what helped you in order to bring these skills to Black Girls Code? What helped you? You're on mute. We can't hear you.
I want to share this really quick anecdote, and it's actually something Kobe helped make me help make happen, and it just goes to show how circular things are, how everything
Mhm.
comes back around. This summer, I had the great privilege of I'm auntie to my best friend's granddaughter, and I had the great privilege of being able to bring her to camp. And so she spent a week at camp, and it was amazing how incredibly quick community is formed. And I mentioned this because my baby's project was called World Peace Through Inner Peace. And I will say this, she's 10, and I was like, baby, where did you get that from? And she was like, auntie, my head. So which still, it still makes me emotional to think about that. World peace through inner peace. I think that that's the first thing. Like, inner peace is what we need to aim for. When people ask me what is the most important thing that we need to acquire, for me, whether it's going for a job interview, whether you're looking at building, expanding, creating sustainability within your career, I always think like regulating our nervous system is the most important thing that we can do for our career, for our relationships, for any area of life. Life is rough. The news is horrid. Relationships it's a struggle bus.
Mm-hmm.
We are all under an extraordinary amount of fatigue. And number one is learning how to manage that fatigue. If we're not able to manage the fatigue within ourselves and find some sort of way to show up, we're going to show up a wreck at our jobs. We're going to show up a wreck in our family. We're going to show up a wreck in our community. That wreckage does not change from one area to the next.
I
So
agree.
I would say the first step for me was going after my wellness, my well-being, like my life depended on it, because it did and it does.
I think that is excellent advice. I mean, because we are a whole person. We bring everything to everything we do, like you said, whether it's home, work, or community. So thank you for sharing that, because we are in a time when we have to do a better job of taking care of our well-being and our health. I'm going to move to you, Kobe. And my last question that I would like to ask before we actually will open it up for a couple of questions and then have closing remarks is, what advice would you give to any of the young ladies that are listening that would like to be part of Black Girls Code?
The advice that I would give is advice that I've received myself, which is stay curious. Stay curious allows you to always be pivoting and navigating through the different obstacles and challenges that life is going to just give you in general.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not pan out the way that you want it to. You might feel stagnant at times. You might get imposter syndrome. You might be taking on a lot. And to Angel's point, not checking in with your inner wellness. So just being curious first about what it is you want in life. Why do you want those things? Who can connect you? When you're in different spaces and you're communicating with people, whether you're trying to get jobs, internships, volunteer opportunities, like stay curious to the people that are in those spaces. Find out what their career pathway was, find out their experiences, and that might lead to conversations and getting your foot in the door. And just trying out different things. I think that has been the advice that I've received, and it's been very helpful for me when I need to go to conferences or when I need to go to events like this, like keeping yourself open to being curious about other people's experiences, because it might ignite something in you that you haven't thought of before, and you might want to go after that and try that new thing. So stay curious, ladies, and keep yourself open.
I think this is going to tie into a quote that I wanted to share. And then I think we have a question or two from our listeners. And it says, we want to make sure that the young ladies remember something very powerful. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not have to define you. But you will be surprised how often your past is the roadmap that had to happen to get you to where you are today. Every challenge you faced has not meant to break you. It was meant to build you. You may come from circumstances that don't look like success, but success is not about where you start. It's about what you believe, how you move, and how you choose to become in spite of. When life gets hard, don't give up, get grounded. Find your faith, stand on your values, keep showing up, even when no one's clapping. You have the power to beat the odds by choosing to believe that there's more for you, because there always will be, as long as you believe. You are not a statistic. You are a story in the making. You are your own story, and your story will have twists, tears, and triumphs, but it is proof that you can build a future without any limits. I just love that. It was something that I put together over time, that I pulled from different sources that I thought tied in beating the odds and building a future without limits. I'm sure each of us have our own testimonies of how we got to where we are today. But because our time is beginning to run out, I want to open the floor. Sarah, do we have a question that came up that we wanted to share? Yes. Okay, because I could tell we had a question. So who would like to answer? How does coding align with the AI world today?
That's a Selena question, I think.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
So the question is, how does coding align with the AI world today that we live in?
Yeah, it's interesting that you said, how does it align with the coding world today?
Yes, like
Okay,
somebody's
sorry,
asked a
I was
question
having trouble
about,
hearing you.
oh, no, it's okay. Somebody's asking, how does coding align with,
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence today?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've been writing about AI and its effect on the tech industry on LinkedIn. I have a newsletter that I support and write articles about AI and how it's affecting the tech industry. Specifically as it concerns coding, there's now technology out there that allows folks who don't know how to write code to use natural language to code. It's called vibe coding, which you guys may have heard about. So it has really opened up the world of development to individuals who may not have had a background in coding. So that's one piece of technology that I think is really interesting today, because the opportunity to build and create applications, particularly ones that solve social issues, is now more readily available to more people. It's one thing I'm really excited about. Also, another way that AI is really affecting how we work today is really thinking about how you use technology to help yourself be more productive, right? So many of you guys might have already heard about ChatGPT, or you're using ChatGPT, and you might be also hearing a lot about agentic AI. So agentic AI is when you actually are using these AI tools to complete tasks for you. So all of that stuff is super exciting, and it's evolving very quickly, and there's lots of new technology that is coming out. But to answer the original question, the thing that I'm most excited about is the barriers to entry into coding have significantly reduced because of AI. So if you are a person who has always had an idea for an amazing application or something that you think could be benefit to society, you don't actually have to know how to write code in order to become a developer and to create amazing applications.
Awesome. That's awesome. So our time is winding down. I would like to know who would like to give us a closing comment on behalf of Black Girls Code, and then let us know how can anybody watching contact you, get in touch with you, learn more about you. So who would like to give that closing comment?
I actually feel like that's also Selena.
Yes, I was actually pulling up the website so I can drop in the link. If you can drop the link in there for them, Angel. If you would like to reach out to me, you can find me on LinkedIn, but you can
Okay.
also fill out our contact us form on our website. We run programs both virtually and in person in all of our cities. And so if you're interested in learning more about coding, if you're interested in learning like what a career in tech could look like, we have many, many opportunities for you to engage and participate, and we would love to meet you all.
Okay. I was going to see if Sarah could put your website up on the screen. I don't know if she has it handy, and if she does, but can somebody just verbally tell us? Oh, okay. I see it right here. So it's www.weare BGC, which stands for blackgirlscode.org. So we are BGC.org. Okay. All right. There we go.
Yes.
Right up on the screen. So with that, ladies, we have appreciated our time together. I think it's very important that we get the word out about you and what you're doing, and not only all over I would say the country, but I'm focusing on Southern California, so that, we can make sure that the young ladies know what's available to them and how to get involved with you. So once again, we thank Tammy Tumbling from the president of Orange County Community Foundation for joining us today, as well as Sarah Harris with the BBA, and all of you beautiful ladies from Black Girls Code. I'm excited about seeing where this goes from here, and for us to see how even some of our girls can be part of your program as well.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
thank you. We pray that you
Thank
have a
you.
wonderful day. And until the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.